Good afternoon and welcome to our kitchen. Today I'm going to be cooking a little pudding because we have been invited along to a potluck supper tomorrow night. Potluck obviously means it's potluck what you get, because everybody brings a dish and nobody knows what anybody else is bringing. And I have been told by one of the organisers that there really isn't any puddings coming along, so I am doing a pudding. So what am I doing? I'm going to do a variation of an apple crumble. Okay, and I'm going to call it Crimbo crumble, and that is because down in Gloucester, where I'm originally from, the local word for Christmas is Crimbo. So it's a Crimbo crumble. So basically it's an apple crumble that I'm going to adapt and put some different ingredients in as well, to make it a bit more Christmassy. I have got all of my ingredients. I've got all my pots and pans and everything ready. So I guess I ought to tell you the ingredients I have. So let me show you. So these are the ingredients, and I have got every single one of them from our shop, including the apples. We don't currently have, well, we do currently have apples available. We don't normally have them. But there is a lot of windfalls at the moment and people keep giving us apples to sell. So we do have apples. Apples. I have got also I've got some cranberries, some apricots, I've got some what have I got here? I've got cinnamon, I've got coconut sugar, I've got fennel seeds to give it a bit of an aniseedy taste. I've also got pine nuts and pecan nuts, which I'm going to chop up to add to the crumble. Give it a bit more texture. I know you can see some Tesco dark chocolate chips there. Other supermarkets are available, obviously. I don't have chocolate chips in the shop, so I went and bought those last night. They are sustainably sourced, so it says on the back. Because as you know, we like to sell fair trade things. But I've done my best with the chocolate chips. So what I'm going to do is get all these ingredients prepared. So I'm basically going to be doing a lot of chopping up just now. So I shall start by peeling and chopping the ingredients I need to peel and chop. So I'm trying to work out whether I've got enough apples in there, and I think I might have. I don't think I'm going to use those last two because I've got apricots and cranberries as well. So that's taken me so long, it's gone dark outside. And I'm going to use these last two apples. And we'll put them over here with the rest. I'll put all the apple cores in there, and any other fresh rubbish that I get, because it'll go on the compost heap. I'll just put that to one side for a minute. Now, those of you wondering whether I have got Stan with me, I have got Stan with me. He's sitting on the windowsill, supervising, making sure I'm doing it right, aren't you, Stan? He is actually helping me bake. Right. So, I've got cranberries, which I don't need to chop up. I'm just going to flick those in there. Oops, I'm going to flick them all over myself as well. Not the best idea. Well, how many cranberries do you think? I like cranberries. Martin does too, so. Well, it has gone dark. But you know what? I'm just going to chuck the whole lot in. Paper bag, compost bin. These I will chop up. I'm going to use all of those as well. Oops, that one didn't make it. I'm just putting the last apricot in now. The reason why our dried apricots actually aren't orange is because they're not dried with sulfur dioxide. We don't have those in our shop. These are organic apricots and they are dried naturally without sulfur dioxide. So therefore they do lose their colour and they're no longer an orangey colour or an apricot-y colour. They go this dark colour. That one didn't make it either. I do like apricots. So I think I have enough dried fruit. I'm just going to wash my hands. Speaking with my mouth full now. Because I'm all sticky. So I have enough dried fruit. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of sugar and cinnamon on them. And I'll save a bit for the topping as well. I'm just going to mix a bit of sugar and cinnamon together. I'm going to save a bit because I'll need it for the topping as well. I'm actually using, this is coconut sugar. All right. Brown sugar. It's not made from coconuts. There's no coconut in it. So if you have nut allergies, you're all right. It is made from the sap of the palm tree that the coconut grows on. So a coconut palm tree, and it's made from the sap. And it's kind of a Southeast Asian sugar. Philippines, that sort of area. It is really, really sweet. You don't need very much of it. It's also got a nice caramel flavour to it, and it adds that real depth to something like a crumble. It's really, really nice. It's ever so really, really nice in coffee as well. The apricot's repeating on me. I shouldn't have nicked it, should I? So anyway, yes, coconut sugar stands up really well in any baking that you do, any cooking. It works just the same as any sugar, but I just prefer it because it has that caramel taste and it adds that little tiny bit to a nice recipe like this that needs that little bit of extra depth to it. Cinnamon, I've got cinnamon here. I'm only going to add a little tiny bit because I don't actually like cinnamon. And when people come into the shop and ask me to refill their jars of cinnamon, it is the worst thing in the world for me because I don't like it. But I don't actually mind it being in a little bit of, an apple pie or whatever. I don't actually mind it, but the actual smell of it and having to handle it and decant it from one thing into another, it's the worst thing in the world for me. That's one part of my job that I really don't like, is having to refill cinnamon for people. I do it. And I do actually use it in cooking. I am a strange beast, really. So I'm just going to mix those two bits together so they get quite a nice mixture. I'm not going to put very much in because I actually think this is going to be really quite sweet anyway, as it is. I don't know what's going on with my hair. It doesn't look very good, does it? Anyway, whatever. I don't care. As you can see, you'll probably guess, I don't measure anything when I'm cooking. I just bung it in and hope for the best, which is exactly what I'm doing. So I'm just going to do this. Not good at singing either. So I'm just going to do a little bit in there because I'm going to leave that to put in the crumble topping. But I am going to give this a nice stir so it all gets mixed in. So all those people like me that don't like cinnamon, you'll have to eat it. So that's all mixed. Ugh, God, it's quite heavy. There's loveliness going in there. I like quite a bit of filling when I do crumbles and pies and stuff. Now, don't forget I've got to fill our 2 little bowls that I'm going to use for our pudding tonight. Martin's not actually with me this afternoon. He's gone off. He's gone to do the Rotary's Santa run, which means he's gone off to he's doing the really big one this afternoon. He's going to Lumsden and Rhynie and Kennethmont and Clatt and Gartley and that's not fair, he's got more in his than mine. Take a bit out of there. Be a bit even. I know he's bigger than me, but I like it. So he's going to do a long afternoon. He went out about 3:30. It's only around about 4 now. It's not taken long for me to do this. And we had lunch before he went out. I think that's done. Put that to one side. And so this will be his pudding when he comes back. Because when he comes back, he will need a pudding because it's Baltic out there. And it's dark and it's cold and it's December. What more do I need to say? Right. So he's going to get a nice pudding when he comes back to warm him up. So now I need to prepare the topping. Right, there's my pine nuts in there. Pecan nuts. I love a pecan. Not all of these are going to make it in. However. Let's just give the crumble a real crunchy extra dimension. And taste, because sometimes crumble tops can be a little bit bland. I quite often go and buy a packet of shortbread biscuits. Oh yeah, the fingers. All round, doesn't matter. I put them in a bag and bash them with a rolling pin. And I just use that as a crumble top. Then that's all there is to it, nothing else. So I just use that. Right, I'm going to stop with the pecans now because I think that's enough. Put those back in the bag. I'm going to be here all night chopping otherwise. So I am going to add lovely seeds to it. Give it an aniseedy taste. Oops. Does it smell aniseedy enough? I won't put them all in because it can be quite a strong taste. So anyway, that's the aniseed. Actually, now I just done that. So I'll put that to one side because I am now going to. Oh, that's the sugar in the thing, isn't it? I am now going to attempt. I say attempt. That will be the real answer. I don't need my chopping board anymore, do I? And there. I'm going to attempt. God blimey, I should be doing a lot of cleaning, won't I? Time to make the crumble. Now I don't. I never measure anything. I literally just bung it in and hope for the best. So I can't actually tell you how much I'm going to use because I've no idea. But I don't imagine I'll use much more than that. I'm actually going to turn my oven on. So let's get this thing on. I'm going to put it on about 170, something like that. Right. I've got a very little pinch of salt going in my tin here. You don't want too much salt. And this is plain flour that I'm using for a crumble. It's probably not a good idea to use self-raising. Oh dear, I can't get the packet open. Right, now, as I said, I am just I'm going to put a little bit in there. I would normally sieve flour, but as it's for a crumble and you're going to make it crumbly again after you've sieved it, I don't see the point. So I'm just going to bung it straight in. I'm probably going to use about half of that because I've got quite a big tray there. I can always add more in if I think it's not going to work. Now, as with crumbles, you get your hands dirty when you're doing this. You literally rub the butter in. This is something that's really good to do with the kids. You can get them to do this and they'll really enjoy it. So anyway, let's get started. So, like I said, it's got a little bit of salt, pinch of salt. I've just bunged not quite half a bag of flour in. And what you do is you get your butter, which I've just chopped into little bits, and you rub it. You squeeze it and you rub it until it resembles breadcrumbs. Oh, that's we're coming in there, we're coming in. I don't think I need to put any more butter in. There we are, that's sort of breadcrumby. So like I said, it's all guesswork with me. I don't measure anything. I'm actually thinking I'm going to need to put a little bit more butter in there actually. I'm just going to chop a little bit more up. So this mixture is now resembling breadcrumbs. It didn't take very long, only a few minutes. So what I'm also going to do now is add, I'm going to put the rest of that in. That was the sugar and the cinnamon. And I'm also going to add the pine nuts and the pecans, because that will turn it into a lovely, really lovely crumbly mixture in itself. Just mix those in. You have the seeds in there as well, so there should be a real Christmassy feel to this. Look at that. Can you see that? Nice. And now what I'm going to do is spread it over these so that you can give it a nice top. I'm actually going to do our two little ones first. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to pour it onto there. And as it was only guesswork, hopefully I've made enough. I think I have. I have done this a few times, so guesswork is kind of educated, really. So the crumble mix was flour, butter, and I put pine nuts and pecan in, and oh, what's the name of the seeds? I forgot the name of the seeds I put in there. My brain. I don't really have a brain half the time. Anyway, right, that, and then the actual mixture itself was apples, apricots, and cranberries. It's also got coconut sugar and cinnamon. You can put what you like in it, really. It's up to you. Now I'm just going to sprinkle some of these on the top. I just thought it would make a nice little change because I think this is going to be quite a sweet pudding. So to put a bit of a sharp flavour through it, I just thought was a better idea. These are actually dark chocolate, which is why I've said sharp flavour, not Milk chocolate I don't think would work with this pudding. I think it's already far too sweet. So, but we all like a nice sweet pudding. Oh, put the whole lot in. Why not, eh? Flick them about a bit so they're a bit more evenly spread. There you go. Now you're going to get a nice bitter chocolate in with your sweet apple and there, and your crunchy topping. Voila! Ready to go in the oven. Right, now get down. I'm just going to put these in the oven. I'm going to put the two little bits for me and Martin on the bottom shelf because it won't be so hot under there. And the big pie. Look at that! Doesn't that look good? Can you see the layers in that? Oh, fabulous. It's going in the top of the oven like that, where it will sit for 40 to 45 minutes. So there they are in the oven, and now all I have to do is to clean it up.